So in this segment, we're going to be talking about Maroš Šefčovič urging Boris Johnson to get Brexit done and work with the EU. So I've got to give Šefčovič some credit here. He's got jokes. He talks about the EU's October proposals being oven ready, and now he's talking about getting Brexit done. So I'm not going to say he's quite the comedian, but as far as politicians go, he's got a couple of jokes. So senior EU officials hit out at Boris Johnson, urging him to move on from Brexit and work with the bloc in the face of Russia's brutal war. So essentially they're saying we want to draw a line under Brexit and move on and deal with Russia. Šefčovič, the European's vice president, who was in charge of UK relations, which is unlucky mate, repeated his criticism of the government's illegal plan to rip up parts of the protocol 2 days after the bill cleared the first hurdle in the House of Commons, which I think is second reading. It is high time we got Brexit done, Šefčovič said, turning the Prime Minister's 2019 slogan against him, which is, well played, mate. In the face of Russia's brutal and unjustified war against Ukraine, it's clear that more than ever before that the EU and UK are natural allies, because, we are, in a sense, natural allies. We are the EU is full of democracies, apart from Hungary. The UK is also supposedly a democracy. We're all, we're meant to be standing by and trying to help Ukraine as much as possible against the Russian invasion. Šefčovič says where the rules-based order is under pressure, strengthening Western unity should be our moral imperative. So saying, we should stick together really over this one. Countries that follow the rules should stick together, but screw the rules, as Seto Kaiba would say. In that 2013 speech, David Cameron said, if we leave the EU, we cannot, of course, leave Europe. Cameron said a line Šefčovič quoted as he appealed for strong strategic EU-UK relations. So he's pulling out some classics here. Got to respect that. Because it's true. If we do leave the EU, which we did, we can't leave Europe. At the end of the day, we're surrounded by single market countries effectively. Šefčovič said, I agree with Prime Minister Johnson's assessment from 2019 that the protocol is fully compatible with the Good Friday Agreement. And it's funny because Boris Johnson said that at the time, but he also talks about how the implementation and interpretation are the issues, when simply not the case, because he's never spoken about, no one in government has actually mentioned the specific interpretation that's wrong. I've not seen anything. The Slovakian official said the protocol offered Northern Ireland the best of both worlds, or having jam on both sides of the bread. And this is where he loses me, because who puts jam on both sides of their bread? What the hell, man? What the hell? But point being is that for the most part they do get the best of both worlds. The only issue they really have is importing products from GB. Under the agreement, the region can easily trade with the EU as well as benefit from any trade deals the UK signs with the rest of the world. That's not strictly true, because there aren't Northern Ireland can't benefit from something like the UK-Australia deal, which why would they want to, for a start, but they can't. He accused the government of a failure to engage, which is true. He says he was extremely disappointing as a majority of people in Northern Ireland can appreciate the positive benefits and opportunities the protocol brings. The protocol has majority support in Northern Ireland. The problem is there's no unionist support for it, which makes sense. Very little unionist support. An opinion poll for Queen's University Belfast published on Wednesday showed that 55% of people in Northern Ireland think the protocol is a suitable arrangement, because at the end of the day, a border, there are EU countries, there are other world countries that have internal borders. This is more an identity crisis from the DUP more than anything. Although 59% thought it was having a negative impact on political stability in Northern Ireland and on the British relations with the Irish Republic. And what I would tell the 59% of people is that it's not the protocol that's doing this, it's the DUP that are mainly to blame for this. That's what I would say. If I was, an alliance MLA or Sinn Féin MLA or whatever party I would represent, I would just say it's the DUP that are to blame here, because they're the ones keeping Stormont closed. Šefčovič repeated his offer to cut protocol red tape, but said it was unrealistic and unfair for London to expect all barriers to be removed when goods travel to Northern Ireland from the rest of the UK, which is true. That's not going to happen, but they can reduce as much red tape as possible. They can reduce the barriers as much as possible. It's up to the UK to reciprocate that and really come to an agreement here. Privately, Commission officials have voiced scepticism that the Northern Ireland Protocol Bill will ever become law. I think it will become law. The question is, will they actually use it? That's the key problem. I can see it becoming law. What will they do with it? That's what the government need to figure out here. Although Johnson predicted it will be on the statute books by the end of the year, because they are rushing this thing forward. It's going to go through the committee phase very quickly, and it's going to be forced through the Lords via the Parliament Act. I know some people have commented saying that the House of Lords can block it because it's unlawful. In my opinion, they can't, because if they want to do that, they could try and argue lots of things are unlawful and block them. At the end of the day, the House of Commons has supremacy over the House of Lords, and that happened under Prime Minister, I think it was Lloyd George, back in the early last century. That happened because the Lords kept blocking welfare reforms, and in the end, the King had to get involved and said, "Stop it, get some help." He didn't say that, but I love that quote. Anyways, Šefčovič is, he's really going for it here and saying, look, we want to work with you. It's making the EU look like they are the diplomats in this situation, which they are, by the way. And so it puts the UK in a position of looking more like the aggressor, which we are. So, yeah, fair play to Maroš Šefčovič. I'll keep an eye on this, see where it goes. But as always, it's just a waiting game on the protocol stuff. So at this point, we're just covering kind of statements and, the posturing from both sides. Fair statements from him. We'll see what happens. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Support the channel on Patreon if you can. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.